Well, hello there, everyone. It's Brother Reed here yet again. And people, today we are going to be talking about love. Now, it's difficult. What I'm about to tell people is difficult. It's hard. We are supposed to love God more than anything in the world. We're supposed to love Him more than our family. We are supposed to love Him more than anything imaginable, more than a hobby, more than anything. Like Tom Brady. Tom Brady's supposed to love God more than football. We know Tom Brady loves football more than his wife and his kids. That's pretty obvious. We know that by what's going on. But the point I'm making, in all seriousness, Tom Brady loves football. And I would say he puts football above almost anything. That's an example of love. He loves his wife. I guess he loves his kids. But we are supposed to love God more than anything. And that is something that's difficult. Now, let's look at Matthew 10:37. This is the King James Version. It says, "He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me." And I'm sure that goes for other things too. If you love anything more than God, for example, money, that's another example. If I love this car more than God, that's another example of loving anything. If I love this bottle of water more than God, it's anything. You can love anything. Love yourself more than God. Vanity. I guess that's what it's called. But that's the point I'm making. Now, this is difficult for a lot of people to understand, and it's difficult for me to understand. I mean, you're like, oh my God. A lot of people never even thought of this. I never thought about this until it was brought up at church a year ago. I was like, how's it possible to love somebody I've never even met in person more than I love my mother and my father? How's that even possible? And that's something we're all going to struggle with. Even when you get really down to it, thinking about it, you're like, man, that sounds impossible, doesn't it? But it's a simple investment in time, I guess you could say, people. As you read the Bible, as you study God's Word more and more, you see what He's went through. What He went through. He sacrificed for us. Just imagine this, people. The best way I can put it is, look what God went through when He got sacrificed on the cross. And if you've watched Passion of the Christ, as most preachers and people have told me, they're like, just imagine that, as bad as that was, if you watch Passions of the Christ, just imagine that beating He took, and just imagine all that, and just imagine it being 10, 20 times, 100 times worse than that. Okay? Now, that is somebody, I'll put it to you this way. That's somebody that's never even met you. He knows of you, I guess. I'm sure he does knows of you. But that's somebody that's never even met these people from thousands of years in the future. And He gave His life for them, for you, for me. All the lost people out there right now, people on drugs, people who's doing untold things, He gave His life for all of us. People that don't even know Him, people that don't even believe in Him right now. He loves them more than anything. Think about that. Would you went through what He went through? A lot of people wouldn't even go through what He went through with family members. They wouldn't even sacrifice themselves for their own family. If they had to go through that, they would just let a family member get killed or something. They wouldn't even do that. I mean, just think about it. Look what He went through. That right there. If that doesn't show love, what is love? As that great song said, what is love? Baby, don't hurt me. That's an example. But you know what I'm saying. I try to make a little joke here, but But it's true. It's true. Just think about that, people. Look what he gave up for us. Look what he sacrificed for us. It's just amazing to really think about it. Now, when you love God more, when you sit back and you really learn about what he's done for you, and you're like, how could I put my family over God and all this? You will realize that the families that we have, your families, more than anything, they're a gift. They're a gift. They're a blessing from God. And a lot of people say, well, my family's a curse. And, that's another challenge you have in life. You have to love everybody, no matter who they are, what they've done. We had some people a while back break into the church, and they stole a bunch of musical instruments and stuff like that. And the old Reed would have been like, man, these people they're going to hell. If I find them, I'm going to kill them. I'm not going to put up with this crap. Nobody does this to my church, to my people here. And I was like, when that happened, I was like, maybe those people will get saved. Maybe they'll see what they've done wrong. And that was I was like, wow. The old Reed never would have thought like that. He would have been like, I'm going to get my gun and I'm going to go around to every drug dealer in this county and I'm going to find out who did this. That wouldn't have been the old Reed, but I would have been mad. That's the point I'm making. I wouldn't have been as calm about it, but I've been like, I would try to find out what was going on. I would have been mad about it, and it would just been awful. I made it into a big deal and all this. But, the people that did that, maybe that's their way of hitting rock bottom. Maybe they'll hit rock bottom. Maybe they'll get caught by the law. Maybe they'll just realize what they've done. And maybe by them stealing all that stuff, maybe that'll save their lives. I mean, there's different ways of looking at it. And if I saw the people that did that right now, I wouldn't be mad at them. I'd be disappointed in them, I guess the best way you can put it. Kind of like Jesus is disappointed in us every time we sin. That is a sin. Just like if I go home and tell my mom I lied to her about something, that's a sin. How do you feel when your children lie? Do you feel bad? You're like, oh, my child's lied to me. It's so bad. Why would my child do this to me? Look what my child's done. He's done this. He's done that. Now, you think about that. Now, you're a child of God. So, just imagine how God feels. Just think about that for a moment. You get disappointed in your child, your husband, your wife might cheat on you. Who knows, right? You're like, oh my goodness, my wife cheated on me. Now just imagine how bad you feel. That's the way God feels when you let him down. And I know you have a hard time understanding this. I understand that. You have to get in church. You have to really learn the word. And I'm not saying I'm perfect and all this stuff. You're going to struggle with it. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's not going to be like, I love God. It could happen overnight. But you're going to struggle with it. But you're going to be like, I love God more than anything. I'll be like, I like you, Archie, my dog, but God's number one. It's something to think about. So anyway, let's see. I was going to read this right here. It says, God asks every moment to love our family more. Our common way of living is, my family already knows I love them, so we don't think about improving. But God is always intentional. He is always seeking more love. He wants us to ask, how can I be kinder today when we leave Mass? How should I speak to my kids? What can I do for my spouse that they'd appreciate? So, you had something like with your family, you always have to improve on it. You always have to try to do better. You have to just, when you really get into God and what He's done for us, and realize you are a child of God. It's like the best way I'll just sum this up is simple. When your child does wrong, it hurts. When you do wrong, it hurts God. And just watch Passion of the Christ. If you've not watched it, watch it again. And just look at what He's done for you, and you'll realize God's waiting on you to go to heaven. He wants you to be up there with Him. And don't let people drag you to hell. Don't let that happen. Love everybody. I know it sounds difficult, but you have to do it. You have to love everybody no matter what. No matter what that person's done to you in life. I know it sounds hard. You have to love them. Because what's more important? Holding a grudge against somebody that's done something to you, or going to heaven? Again, this life is only maybe 140 years if you're lucky. More than likely, it's not going to be that long. But if you make a miracle happen, it's going to be that long. But eternity is heaven or hell. Love. You have to love God more. We all have to love God more. And as you, like I'm saying, if you not got into church and all this stuff, this ain't going to make sense. But when you get saved, when you get into church, this will make sense. God loves us more than you love whatever you love the most. He loves you a million times more than that. We're all children of God. We're all children of God. And He's waiting on us. He's waiting on us. He's watching us right now. He's watching every mistake I made today. And like, you're better than that, Reed. You're better than that, my child. You're better than that. So, anyway, something to think about, people. I'm about ready to start crying over this. But the point is, He loves us. And He's waiting on us. And I'll just say this right quick. When you lie and all this, you feel it. You feel you've done something wrong. Now just imagine God, He feels that when we do something wrong. It's it's your conscience. It's your, whatever your... Anyway, that's it, people. That's going to be the official video. As always, thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you want to see more of these. We'll see you next time as always. God bless us all, everyone.